Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings another cool day, favoring sunshine with a high of 65, followed by a chilly night tonight with a mainly clear sky and a low of 41. Tomorrow, Memorial Day, looks to feature plenty of sunshine, less cool conditions with a high of 60, but clouds return for Tuesday, even a spotty afternoon shower, high 69. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, the counselor, Greg Diolis, is at my side. Another edition of the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, and I've been doing this a long time, but there are just days that you can't wait to hear the alarm to get out of bed, even if it is before 3 a.m., to get to work, because you have a guest like this who joins us right now, Devin Gee, pro at Oakmont Country Club. It's all about the Open. I know you're busy, so we'll get right to it. Good morning, Devin. And so let's talk about the course, the biggest changes at the legendary Oakmont. We'll start there. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, thanks for having me. We're really excited. Obviously, a couple weeks away from the best players in the world being here, and we're excited to see them on the new golf course. 2023 completed a really major restoration to really recapture some of our greens and expand them, and realigned a number of bunkers, added a little length. So we're excited. We're excited to see the test that these players are going to face.
Greg Diolis. Greg.
Hey, Devin, good morning. So what are the major changes? I've had the pleasure and the honor of having played there but a few years back. So the greens have been expanded to kind of match the original layout. Is that the idea of what the changes were?
Yeah, Greg, that's exactly right. So, varied from green to green. In some greens, they only expanded by a couple feet, and others, 12 to 15 to 20 feet in some cases. Really, in terms of the green expansion specifically, the front left of 3 was one of the bigger expansions, added about 22 feet to the front left of that green, recaptured, I should say. And 13's just so incredible now. Added a portion in the back right, added a portion in the front right, and the middle left. So certainly we'll see some hole locations for the championship that we haven't seen in more than decades at Oakmont. But those are the major ones from a green expansion standpoint. As it relates to some of the other changes, number 7 is quite different than what it was in 2016. The whole fairway complex has been realigned in a way. It's a little bit of a double fairway now with a cross bunker.
Oh wow!
So we're excited. Definitely more strategy on the golf course. Gil and his team, they really did an incredible job researching and really understanding our founders' HC phones and WC phones, what the golf course was like when they were here in the teens, 20s, and 30s and 40s for that matter. And really every hole has a feature from that era. And, particularly on the shorter par 4s, 2 and 5 and 14 and 17, a little more strategy on those holes, giving players options to maybe lay up short or be more aggressive off the tee.
So is 5, is the target still the little silo that you could see in the background from the tee? Is that?
It is, yeah. That's a water fountain on number 3 is what we tell everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, a little right of where you think you should hit it.
Well, that redesign on 3, now, couldn't you have put maybe a little backstop behind that green? Because that thing is devilish if you get long on that son of a gun.
Yeah, so that was one of the other adjustments. That was there. It was always, at least for the last 20 years, it was closely mown long of that green.
Uh-huh.
And if you remember from 2007, Tiger actually hit it long on that green on Sunday, and hit a mediocre chip and ended up making double bogey on number 3. And that closely mown area was probably added in the early 2000s. It certainly wasn't original to the early days at Oakmont, and really even in the championships in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, it wasn't there. And that was actually an element that Gil brought back, was taking away that closely mown area. Now it's long, rough behind the green.
Oh, wow. That'll be a major difference.
You would think it would be a lot easier. I can assure you it's not. So it's still incredibly hard. That whole number 3, 35 yards were added to it. So it's longer. Added a church pew. So the church pews are totally in play for every player. And then the expansion on the front of that green really made it a lot more challenging. So it'll be an interesting hole to watch.
All right, let me jump in here a little bit and talk about not just the Oakmont U.S. Open, but something you guys got to be pretty happy about, the USGA, the anchor site. Talk a little bit about that. Go ahead, Devin.
Yeah, so in 2021, the USGA, along with Oakmont, announced an anchor site partnership. So really it just put tournaments on the calendar through 2049. Another few opens. We've got the Women's Open in 28 and 35, Walker Cup in 2032, and then a first ever for Oakmont. We'll host the U.S. Women's Amateur in 2047. So really, if you look back over the last 25 years and historically for that matter, the cadence of those championships coming up, it's pretty similar to what we've hosted over the past 20 to 25 years. Mm-hmm. But really, like knowing that they're coming, I think it's just allowed the USGA and certainly the club to view the championships, the club, in a little bit of a broader scope and make decisions in that 20 to 25 year time frame versus, in recent history, you find out 3 to 5 years in advance what championship you're going to host, and there's just not a lot of time to make any major decisions in that type of time frame. And I can tell you, we've felt it here at the club, and I think the USGA would say the same thing. They've taken just an incredible interest in the fan experience for this championships and future championships, and I think when fans get out here the week of the championship, they're going to sense that. I mean, it is really incredible what it'll be like to watch the U.S. Open.
Listen, you've been manicuring this course, getting ready for this, and I have to throw it out there. I was talking to one of your members, Donna Shana, who's a good friend, and just so much excitement what's going to be happening there, and I have a lot of friends that are members in relationship with Ed Stack. This is truly a chance for Western Pennsylvania to shine, but I got to ask, because the golfer wants to know, who do you think are some of the contenders? And you got to put Scotty Scheffler up there, world's number 1. Who do you think this course could really play well for heading into the Open Championship in just a couple of weeks? Devin Gee, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll be any different than what you've seen in any championship hosted at Oakmont. Oakmont is known for its green complexes, and those certainly are a major part of the championship and how you navigate those green complexes. But when you look back at champions here, whoever drives the ball straight for 4 days has the best chance to win. I mean, you have to be in the fairway. The fairway bunkers are so penal, and the U.S. Open rough is so penal. So if you're not hitting out of the short grass, it's going to be a long week. And you look back at DJ, one of the stats I love from 2016, Dustin Johnson hit 25 greens in a row between 2 of his rounds. And you think about that, that's incredible to just, from an approach standpoint, but you also have to recognize that he had to hit it in play off the tee that number of times to have an opportunity to hit it on the green. So that really illustrates how important it is to drive it in play and drive it in the short grass during the U.S. Open.
Listen, I got to tell you one thing about Bob Ford, and Greg will attest to this. He's been such a gem to me and helped me so many times, including with my TV crew back in the 90s. But I thought I knew everything about him, but I read the article in the PG many years ago, in his 20s, 37 years he spends at the club, but he actually makes the cut at the U.S. Open there and finishes 26th. And Donna said that he was talking about that during an event the other night at the club. How tough and how amazing is that for someone to do what he did, being the pro at a place like Oakmont, Oakmont, which I consider our St. Andrews of the United States. And not only does he make the cut, but he finishes 26th. That's pretty spectacular when you look at this guy's resume, right, Devin?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's certainly a record that'll likely never be broken. Not only to play at that level and in a major championship at your host facility and make the cut, finish 26th, but all of the other things he was doing that week make it even more amazing. Yeah. So we had a great evening last week that really just that accomplishment for Bob and just what it meant for the club and for golf. Just incredible. I mean, you can't. Incredible is probably an understatement. Truly something that'll, very, very likely never be done again. To have a club professional make the cut. I mean, honestly, there's a very good chance a club professional never finishes in the top 25 or 26 like that again. So, just a different world for sure. Incredible what he did.
Listen, only because he's the golfer in the room and he loves Oakmont. I got to give him one more question, then we'll let you out of here. Devin Gee, Club Pro at Oakmont. So we got about 2 minutes left with Devin. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, instead of a start-off question, I just wanted to say, Devin, the few times that I've had a chance to play there when you've been the pro, you've been such a gracious host. And anytime anybody ever has an opportunity to play that golf course as part of an event or something like that, the way that you host everyone that comes there is just a tribute to what a class person that you are. And then the follow-up to that, or my question would be, in leading up to the Open, when does membership no longer have an opportunity to play the course because of the final preparations?
Yeah, so really, right up until just a couple days before practice rounds day. So we'll have play out here again a couple days before the players start to show up. As you can imagine, the rough it's really long right now. It'll get a little bit longer. We aren't incredibly busy in that week leading up, just because. You get to a point where I think everyone's ready to, from a membership standpoint, we're ready to see the rough get back to normal heights. But yeah, our members, they're so passionate about the club and championships. You mentioned Donna Shano, and there's so many others that really contribute a lot of time to the U.S. Open, not only the week of, but leading up to it, getting ready. So everyone's really excited. It's always fun to have the spotlight and the best players at your club. So we're looking forward to it, and we'll deal with the long rough for right now, but we're excited.
Devin, I can't thank you enough. Always very hospitable to me and others. Keep up the great work, and the phone works two ways. If we can ever help you, reach out, okay?
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
Thanks, Devin.
All right, good stuff. I don't think I'd be that calm this close to that event.
Oh, he's a good dude. I was 100% serious about if our listeners ever have a chance to be out there and just say hello to him. He's a gracious host, just a wonderful young man. And when if you ever have an opportunity, it is like the Holy Grail. I mean, I've had an opportunity to go to Europe and see the Parthenon and all that kind of stuff. Going to Oakmont is very similar. It's like, this is really a special place, and it's really something. He's a great guy.
He is a great guy. Good friend. Okay, short break. We'll come back. Our Pirates are up next in the conversation on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
Now more than ever, we're the station you can trust for the information you need. KDKA.
At Penn West University, we're making college make sense again for people who maybe thought college wasn't the answer. We're making college practical with programs tied to in-demand jobs that prepare you for success right away. We're making college accessible by breaking down barriers and offering more choices. We're making college approachable with faculty who understand where you're coming from and help you get where you're going. At Penn West, we're making college valuable again for people just like you. Learn more at pennwest.edu.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue value of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
When you're injured on the job, you need more than just a workers' comp lawyer. When you need a fighter, you need us. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. For the people. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, Schmid and Griffin, Charles Schwab, they are your leaders. They right now have a 4-shot lead over a guy by the name of Ricky Fowler. So I love following the great game of golf. Don't play it, but I love it. Absolutely. I've always been passionate about it. But I want to give a little love to Oakmont right now. Oakmont and that country club, as you mentioned, it's the Holy Grail. It's our St. Andrews. It's everything. I tremble when I'm in that place. I've been there many times. I've been on speaking daises on which Lou Holtz has been on the same dais with me. And Lou is a great lover of golf, the former coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And anytime he's here and healthy and able to do it, he loves playing Oakmont. Anybody who loves golf, anybody who's anyone, great game of golf, celebrity, everyday people like the counselor here, former family members have played it. There's nothing quite like it. But I saw an article in the PG today, and it kind of shocked me. It's a good article, but it's something that we can talk now about, that a lot of the businesses in Oakmont don't seem to embrace the same dollars and cents that the country club makes. And I understand that. And the country club needs to make money to continue to be able to put into that country club, to continue to grow and make it better each and every time they have the U.S. Open. But stop into Oakmont Bakery, grab yourself a donut, do something, grab a beer, stop into the local convenience store. You know, just give them a little bit of love, too.
Yeah, as you come down Holton Road and before you go across the Holton Bridge, make that little left turn into the Oakmont community. It's a really nice little scenic community. You got Hofstadt's out there, you know, nice little, it's not a shot and beer place, it's a little upscale, but it's a good spot. Get some good draft beer, I think some German food. There are some really neat little spots in Oakmont. They got that old theater there. It's not like you're going to stop and watch a movie on the way home from the U.S. Open, but maybe if you get a chance to kind of go through there and pick out some spots to go back to, because it's a nice little community.
Let me tell you what this place does, the country club, for our community. You know, I'm all about economy. I'm all about money and helping people create jobs. That's what I talk about all the time. So I had a gentleman here the other night who happens to be the general manager of the beautiful Hilton Garden Inn in Cranberry. They're sold out the entire week. That's Cranberry. Now, I've been hearing people have been selling and renting their houses, not selling, but renting their houses out in and around Oakmont. So everybody's getting a piece of the pie. This is a great event. It's wonderful, but it does so much for the economy.
Well, it does. And even the kind of really outlying areas, because I believe they use that Pittsburgh Mills Mall, at least they did previously, as a shuttle spot. So you get parked there, and then they shuttle you over because parking is at a premium at Oakmont. They did buy out the old Oakmont East golf course, and a lot of that hillside is used for parking and some of the refreshment tents and things like that. But there's still, I believe, some shuttle service areas that are outliers. And once you get off the shuttle, go, make a day of it. Have a cocktail or two. Just make somebody else drive.
Have you ever been to this event, U.S. Open?
Yes.
Isn't it unbelievable? I mean,
I'd rather play golf than watch golf anytime, but yes, it is an experience. If you've done it, if you've never done it, it's worth doing it once.
And there is an art to driving a golf cart. I watch people wheel around in these golf carts. They look like NASCAR drivers. Some of these, young caddies and that, man, they're amazing. They're like magicians behind the wheel or whatever that thing is.
Those can be dangerous vehicles, though. You got to be careful with them.
I've told this story 100 times, but make it 101. My first time ever at the U.S. Open back in the mid-'90s, TV crew, pull up, 18 fairway, bleachers. it looked like Jurassic Park, the movie. I mean, it was like I never saw so many people moving parts from the littlest to the biggest. Everything was larger than life. It was literally breathtaking. That's all I can tell you. So if you get a chance, do it and get out and have some fun. Spend some money at the course. Spend some money in Oakmont and continue to support that great club and the great game of golf.
Tell you one thing that's fun, Rob, about going to the U.S. Open is going to the practice area, the practice tee.
Oh,
it's just watching those guys hit those missiles that they hit, and time after time, it's all right. I'm gonna hit a draw, and then that goes out there and hit a little draw to it. I'm gonna hit a fade, and it goes out and a little fade to it. I'm gonna hit a bullet, and Tiger Woods used to hit those little 2-irons that he called them stingers. It's fascinating to watch those guys just hit ball after ball off of, and they don't roll any like us.
But what I love about Scotty Scheffler, he's the guy that you could walk in right now with an Egg McMuffin and a McDonald's coffee at Dick's Sporting Goods or Golf Galaxy, and he'd be standing next to you, looking at the clubs. He's looked like the everyday golfer.
Yeah, it is amazing how much though these guys work. Prior to even getting there. A lot of them go work out before their round of golf. In fact, that was one of the things that he had that issue because he was late from a workout, right? So it's what these guys invest in. And maybe their bodies don't show it 100%, but these guys do a lot to make sure that they can play.
Here's what else I remember from that Open in the mid-'90s. They were all being shuttled back and forth in identical white Eldorado Cadillacs. Nice. I never see. That's where my mind.
Now those dealerships then sell those cars and say, "Hey,
listen." I'm sure they figure it out, man. But there's nothing. And the great thing about Oakmont, obviously, there are some very wealthy people, but it's everyone's course. It's everyone's club. I don't care if you're a ham and egger like me or a Fortune 500 CEO or chairman of the board, a man or a woman. We just all seem to get along good, and everybody seems to fit in, and there's no problem communicating, and we're all on an even playing field during this event. That's why Oakmont is such a special place. All right, Greg and I will get to the Pirates. How about O'Neill Cruz?
No, did he have a week? Really good. Really
hits a triple yesterday, a couple of homers. Man, and them shoulders are getting bigger and bigger. He's going to have to carry this team, man.
If he would have been running from the crack of the bat on the triple, it could have been an inside-the-park home run. He walked the first 7 steps out of the batter's box.
Keller had a nice performance, and now we just got to get Skeens in Arizona to get back in the W column. All right, JD in the North Hills all ready to go to work. We want to hear from you, too. Pirates, I promise. A segment or two on them. We got a little NBA, a little NHL, lots of NFL news and notes as well. He is Greg Diulis, of course, of Milk and Honey Entertainment and Diulis Law, back with the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. The X and O's and things you need to know on KDKA.
Hey, folks, NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader, continues to exceed customer expectations. Carol from Pittsburgh praised NASCO Roofing for their quality workmanship and the timely manner NASCO completed her new roof. She loved how friendly and easy NASCO Roofing was to work with. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Carol. Get NASCO on your roof next. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
It's Marty Griffin. I have seen so much angst and anger these days that, you know what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, Get Marty at KDKRadio.com.
Get Marty is presented by Phil DeLuceni and Associates, Levin Furniture, UPMC Health System, CNS Construction, John Keefe Restaurant Group of Oakmont, and by Robert Pierce and Associates. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 58 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. A body was found in a pond in South Park this morning. Allegheny County Police say the body was found in a small pond on Maple Springs Drive. The victim is an adult male. Right now, the investigation is ongoing this morning. A longtime former mayor of West Homestead has died. John Dindak served as mayor of West Homestead for over 50 years, from 1972 to 2023. He also was a Navy veteran, serving during both World War II and the Korean War. Worked at U.S. Steel Homestead Works for more than 40 years. Dindak died on Thursday. He was 97 years old. KDK Radio News Time, 11:31. Next updates at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio, KDK.
Hi, folks. I'm with our good friend John Diagardi from Rome Monument. John, you were telling me earlier that people really should not rush into choosing a memorial for their loved one. Now, why is that?
We found that families need to take ample time to grieve first. Grief is not something that we get over, but rather something that we learn to live with. So the length of time to grieve varies from person to person.
You mentioned that the monument can't be placed right away.
That's right. There are certain things that need to take place before a monument can be installed. So it's really worth taking time to think about how to plan and design a memorial that truly reflects a person's life. It's actually a healing activity that helps to alleviate grief.
John, this makes a lot of sense.
It does. And when the time is right to proceed, not only can Rome Monument help families choose and design their memorial, we can help them save as much as 50% by eliminating the middleman.
Thanks, John. Folks, you can learn more by simply visiting RomeMonuments.com.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
This is Ryan Schlabel with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and I want to make your next home sale the easiest one yet. We've been saving people time, money, and stress for over a decade. You don't have to list with an agent, make any repairs, or have a long closing process. Just call 412-500-9057 for a good fit. Come to the house, make you a cash offer on the spot. My team will handle the rest. Dealing with a complicated situation? No problem. Call 412-500-9057 or visit homebuyersoftpittsburgh.com for a cash offer today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Intervals of clouds and sunshine for this afternoon. Cool again with a high of 65, then chilly with patchy clouds tonight, low 41. Some sun and not as cool, high 70 tomorrow. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, the great Corey O'Connor, I just sent him a text message because I wasn't sure if Neil, Mr. Shipley, qualified yet for the U.S. Open, so he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer because we don't have a whole lot of local guys to pull for, right? And Marco Medier's gone. You know, there's no local flair to the U.S. Open. I mean, it's still going to be a great event, but
listen, if he wasn't in politics, he could be on the Golf Channel, Corey O'Connor. That young man knows the game of golf.
He was a little bit busy this week, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was. But how about the class act, like his dad out there in that street corner, thanking people? Listen, I was fighting back the tears. That was special. All right, here he is, my man, the myth, the legend, JD from the North, the Emperor of the North, North Hills. How are you, JD?
Rob, great, good morning. Yes, Corey O'Connor is a good man, however, and believe it or not, I know a few people who know him personally, so I'm happy to see that he'll be running for mayor. That's beside the point. Let's talk about the Pirates. They're turning the corner a little bit suddenly, however, and the only thing I'm really kind of down about is they haven't brought up a Chandler yet. I don't know what the delay is, however. I don't know what's going on. I mean, are they really just wanting to give this guy a little more time? I mean, what's going on here? If you're the front office, what's happening?
Super 2 status, JD. They don't want him to achieve that Super 2. They want to save that 1 year to stop him from getting to arbitration. As soon as we get to the end of the month, you'll see him.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, getting back to Oakmont, though, I'll tell you what, that's going to be a very interesting setup, how they're going to play. I mean, I just been reading some of the stories this week about how the holes are going to be played. There's going to be some tricky holes out there for the golfers, especially number 12, across the Turnpike Bridge. However, that's a long par 5. The first hole, I think it's like a number 5 before the Church Pews bunker, after the Church Pews, I should say. There's a long par 5 there. So you're going to have to be a real aggressive golfer to hit the ball 400-plus yards if you want to get a nice poke out there, however, on this par 5. So it's going to be fun in 3 weeks. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. I have a few people going. I wish I was going. I got a wedding the day before, unfortunately, final round on that Saturday.
You getting married, JD?
No, my friend, his basically niece is getting married. I was at a wedding a few weeks ago. However, my cousin, his wife's star got married. However, it was really nice. However, I mean, but the funny thing is, I got my 30-year high school reunion also coming up this summer too. So I've got a lot on my plate this summer.
You do. Well,
busy summer, bro.
You're the king of the North. You'll be able to handle it. Always good hearing from you, JD. Anybody else wants to jump in here? Give us a call, 866-391-1020. But you know what I'm dying to talk to you about?
What do you got?
Jim Irsay. Listen, all I know is Ralph Sindrich, that family, those stories. If I was, God forbid, on my deathbed, I would beg for Ralph or you to show up. Because, look, it's all about business. It's the love of passion, but literally epic. So just, if you will, give me a story or two about the late, great Jim Irsay, his father, our hero, Super Agent Ralph Sindrich, and then I'm going to love on Jim Irsay a little bit, then we'll talk more Pirates. Go ahead.
Well, Ralph's best story about the Irsay family had to do with Bob Irsay, not Jim Irsay. Right. So he always talks about Bob Irsay was legendary for being a pretty good alcohol consumer.
Right.
And the legend had it that if you were going to negotiate with him, you never negotiate after noon. You know, if you got him in the morning, he was reasonable.
Right.
After he got to the lunchtime vodka, you were in trouble. So Ralph loves the story. I think we were doing, it was before the Jeff Saturday deal. It might have been Tarek Glenn. It might have been one of the other. We had a lot of Colts in those days. But Craig Erickson, it was Craig Erickson, the quarterback from Miami, who was a starting quarterback there. So Ralph goes to Indianapolis to do this negotiation, which was unusual because normally you do the negotiations by telephone. But Ralph goes, so he's relating this story. He goes, you got all my numbers for me? Yeah, I got all your numbers. Here's your numbers. And it was all in paper. It wasn't computer at those days. So he's got all these comparisons. He has, all right, I'm ready. He says, I'm going to drink a bunch of milk before I go to this meeting, and we're gonna negotiate after after the lunchtime break. We're going to break the rules. So he says Irsay gets him there, and he takes him. And he says, "You want a drink?" Ralph says, "Yeah, I'll have a drink." And he says he loves to tell a story that, you know those plastic stadium cups? So Irsay gets out these 2 plastic stadium cups, the Colts cups, and he gets this real fancy vodka bottle and pours 2 big gulps of vodka. And Ralph says, "I'm trying to hang with him, so I drink with him."
Not
and
good.
He loves the story. And he says, so he goes, "We got along famously. In fact," he says to me, "You got a sport coat with you?" And Ralph says, "I always carry a sport coat." So yeah, I got a sport coat. He says, "Come on, we're going to a book fair tonight. We got to donate some money to this book fair." And so he says, by the time we get to the fair, he's introducing me as his son Ralph. And he's, he carries on to say, we got the Erickson deal done, and shortly thereafter, Mr. Irsay, the senior, passed away. And Ralph used to say if he was cremated, he would still be burning today because he had enough alcohol in his system to fuel the fires. But unfortunately, the younger Jim Irsay had a lot of demons, a lot of personal demons that
He did.
I don't think he ever was able to exercise all of them. But he was an Indianapolis guy through and through, and really
took over the team at like 37.
Yeah.
Young. Now his daughter Carly and other daughters. I mean, a pretty impressive family and legendary in the NFL. And look, Peyton Manning, that connection there. But the thing they have said about Irsay is that, meaning Jim, he stayed in touch with all of his players, was always there for them, donated tons of money, and would buy these like exuberant things like Elvis's guitar just so people could actually see this stuff. I mean, business is business, but from what I understand, and people that really knew him, he had a pretty big heart. Tony Dungy, they loved the guy.
He's very much a philanthropist. Did a lot for the community. Did a lot for the building up of Indianapolis. And many people in Baltimore hate the Irsay family because they took the Colts from there. But they really did really invigorate and energize that downtown Indianapolis area, which is a really fun city. And it's all based around what is now the Lucas Oil Stadium, but originally was the Convention Center and the RCA Dome.
Here, think about it, though. You got the Pacers. One of the last things he sent out on X was a tweet about the Pacers, but you also have the Indianapolis 500 being run today, and Caitlin Clark loses a thriller to the Liberty last night, but she's like the biggest thing in sports right now out of Indiana. So whatever he did or his father did, Indianapolis is living a good life on the sports map right now.
She and Angel Reese got a little WWE thing going, right? Everybody wants to watch them play. That was a hard foul, but it wasn't ridiculous.
Do you realize how many triple-doubles she's had?
She's very good.
She's incredible. And this is what I wanted to ask you about her. How would you handle her if she was your client right now on the precipice of like the next stratosphere by not giving her too much or putting her in the hands of the wrong element that could sidetrack her to where she loses that focus that she needs to continue to play great basketball?
Nah, you got to capitalize when you can. Take every dime that comes in,
but don't give anybody controlling interest.
No, don't give any powers of attorney or any crazy things like that, and make sure that what you do with what you earn goes in the right, conservative vehicles, except now it looks like Bitcoin would have been a great investment, even though back in the day when guys were saying, hey, give me my entire signing bonus in Bitcoin, everybody thought they were nuts. But yeah, do a conservative vehicle, but you're only going to be famous for a very short period of time, and you got to strike while the iron's hot. So take every right guard commercial that comes down the pack.
All right, so let's talk about Donnie Kelly. Could it be that just maybe the Pirates did something that was needed to be done, and he just might have youth be served here? Could something good come from this?
I'm hoping so. I like what he's done. He's brought an energy to them that wasn't there. He's aggressive. I like what he does with starting runners, getting runners in motion, stealing a base. He stole a game early in his tenure here, basically by stealing second base, then having a runner. I think Frazier one night stole third for him. Get that going. He's also not afraid to change a pitcher in the middle of an inning, which was something that Shelton very rarely would do. He's more of a push the buttons, don't sit and wait for things to happen type guy. I like all of what he's doing. He also isn't afraid to get out on the field and get in an umpire to make sure that things are going his way. Boy, they got a really rough the Friday night. difficult ending for Rainey, who was pitching through strike 3, which a pitch that was clearly like 2 balls inside the strike zone was called a ball, and the umpire was looking right at it. Had it not been caught by Bart, it would have hit him right in the mush. How he missed that strike 3 call, which set up the Brewers' big inning that gave them the lead. Fortunately, the Pirates were able to come back. But it was really a harsh call there. And then the same umpire makes the call with saying that Canario was out of the baseline at home plate, which was, you almost never see that called unless it's a ridiculous waiver of the baseline or getting out of there. But Kelly came out and got on him pretty good, but he didn't lose his mind, didn't get kicked out of the game. And then karma, 2 pitches later, 3 pitches later, you get the wild pitch and win the game. So I'm excited about what Donnie Kelly brings.
Yeah, me too. And I'm also excited to think that maybe Jack Sawinski, I'm reading in the Post-Gazette today, maybe a little bit of time in seasoning on the farm, maybe he'll figure it out because he has some really crazy numbers, and he's still a young guy.
He's the greatest AAA hitter of all time.
He's crushing it.
He just can't do anything in a major league.
He's crushing it right now.
I don't know what happens to him when he gets up.
So what about Jared Jones? Sad, huh?
Yeah, well, sad, but at least we'll get him back for next season. I think if it was Tommy John surgery, you're thinking, probably losing him for a long time. And everybody now is talking about this collective bargaining agreement and a lockout in 2027. What are we going to do with ourselves in 2027? We're going to have to talk about the Steelers even more?
No.
God.
We'll find a way. I'm digging. I've been watching Altoona. And Indianapolis, which, speaking of Indianapolis, our AAA team is there, the Indians. So I've been enjoying that on the old Comcast cable system.
Yeah, Altoon, one of the greatest receivers of all time.
Yeah, and that was one of Rouse clients, right? My man Rouse. Oh, God, I love him. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. He taught you a lot.
No doubt. He taught me everything I know, and I still know nothing.
Listen, I remember one day we were here in the hallway, and he had a briefcase, and something got him honked off, and his face got blood red. I thought to myself, man, I'd hate to be on the other side of the line of scrimmage with this animal. Man,
many times I was on the other side of the line of a telephone call, and my ears were falling off.
But let me tell you, you wouldn't want a better friend.
Oh, great man.
I mean, you wouldn't want a better friend. And nobody looked better in a white shirt, button-down white shirt, other than maybe Joe Dentisi of Coons. Those two guys, neck and neck, man, they look good. They were ready for the window at J.C. Penney's, man. They just look sharp. All right, short break. We'll come back. Joe, Penn Hills wants to talk Oakmont. We're going to talk a little NBA, a little NHL, but we've got lots to get to in the way of the National Football League. But on behalf of Greg and I, for those of you who may know, or this somehow through the magic of the airwaves gets out there, or our streaming service, to the Irsay family, our thoughts and prayers. Jim Irsay dies at the age of 65. Colorful character, but a good man at heart, and he will be missed by many, including all of the fans of the Indianapolis Colts worldwide. We'll be back.
Honored to win the Marconi Award as the best news talk station in the country. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
How did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is a listening learner, so he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to be
Precio.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 30% and get 18-month no-interest financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler do it.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
You know, we're going to get to Joe and Oakmont, but Greg and I were talking towards the break. 12 out, 15 games under 500. Look, I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I just want them to be respectable enough that Donnie Kelly gets a few years to see if he can figure this out.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, what's happening to a certain extent is some of the guys that were hurt are coming back now. So, you know, he's going to get the benefit of, you know, guys coming back, giving them more of what we thought this team was going to look like at the beginning of the season. And maybe they can. They're not, you know, you're so far out and so far under that to get to the playoffs is probably an unrealistic expectation. But at least under his realm, if they can, you know, based upon his record, be 5-6 games over 500, that would be a pretty good accomplishment.
All right, I got to come back and defend Mr. Nutting. I'm going to do that in just a moment. Something happened over the last week that made me realize that maybe the players were there after all. I'll explain it. Don't let me forget. Here's Joe, Penn Hills. Joe, go ahead.
Hi, guys. Hey, the most exciting, what are they, 15 games under 500? Most exciting 15 games under 500 team on the league. I love the Pirates, man.
Nice.
I love them. Hey, I wanted to talk about Oakmont.
Okay.
Rob, do you remember last time the Open was in Oakmont, how Norfolk Southern brought in that executive train?
Oh,
and
wow.
parked it in Oakmont for a week?
Yep. I do remember.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I was there every day just to see the train.
That was pretty cool.
Well, wait, give us some details here, guys. You guys know an executive train. Is this like a traveling hotel or something?
Well, you remember the song?
They were General Motors EMD engines they were built in 1948. There were F7s. There was an A, a B, another B, and another A unit, A, B, B, A, and I think there were 12 passenger cars. There was one car that was just a generator for the whole train. You remember that, Rob?
I remember
it. Amazing.
Well, let me put it in proper perspective. You ever hear the song Johnny Cash? I hear that train coming, coming around the bend. He said he could live with his fate being locked up, but what drove him crazy was thinking about those executives in that fine passenger car, smoking big fancy cigars and drinking top-notch whiskey. That is class personified. Those train cars, those cars that you're talking about, executive cars, worth the price of admission. Boy, I'm glad you brought that up. I had forgotten about that, but man, full circle, that was incredible.
Do you think they're going to bring it back? In fact, I don't know. I don't even know if Norfolk Southern owns that train anymore.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Listen, that's a great company, and I know they had some trouble here not too long ago, but it's all straightened out, and they've gone above and beyond. And the thing that I love about the railroad industry, CSX, Norfolk Southern, back in the day, Conrail, Pennsylvania, they always employed people. Even when the mills were disappearing, they're still one of the top employers. And with this deal getting done with U.S. Steel, Nippon Steel, hopefully getting one step closer, they're going to be hiring people for generations. So Norfolk Southern and CSX are a big part of this region for sure. Anything else, Joe?
Sure. No, one thing.
Yep.
Rob, the best 2 hours of sports on the radio. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. I think that's the first for us, man.
Wow.
Hey, now listen.
We got to send Joe a thank you card. We need an address, brother.
I know.
Thanks for listening, Joe.
I appreciate you, Joe. I really do. So here's the other thing. The other thing is that I'm scrolling. Josh Bell, Andrew McCutchen. Who was the starting lineup for the Pirates when you made your Major League debut? Listen, there were some players on those teams, especially when Andrew McCutchen was...
What do you mean when you made your Major League debut?
They were asking them, can you remember who was in the lineup with you?
With you. Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not going to go down all the names, but some of them really popped out, and I thought, all-star, turned out to be a pretty good major leaguer, pretty good pitcher, fabulous pitcher, hit with power. I mean, I was even thinking about Austin Meadows the other day, and I don't even think he's in the league anymore. I think there's been enough talent. Maybe the manager, maybe they never, and with all due respect to Clint Hurdle, maybe they needed somebody like a Donnie Kelly who's young. All due respect to Derek Shelton.
We gave all those guys away, Rob, because we couldn't pay them. That's not a defensive nutting. Also, that's an indictment of them.
If they would have won, they wouldn't have probably given them away. That's my point. They gave up on them because they weren't going to pay them because they were losing. It's the old Ralph Kiner thing. I lost 112 games with you. I can lose 112 games without you. That's why a lot of those players left. Because and the manager, it's about motivation. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's what separates the I think minuscule manager, the mediocre manager against the great manager. You look at Leland, motivated them. You talked about Donnie Kelly, motivating them. Terry Francona, somebody will say, well, he's pretty good at baseball. He knows the X and O's, but he's a great people person. It's what you get out of your talent because how you motivate people. I've had bosses who've worked with me, and I'm not the sharpest tack in the box. I'm a D-plus student on a good day. But they know how to push my buttons. They know how to motivate me. And that's why I think they get the most out of me. It's about knowing how to manage your personnel. And I think that's what's going to be the difference with Donnie Kelly. I'm hoping.
You know, you make a great point about that and figuring out what's the right button. There was, I think it was Wayner talking about it yesterday, that sometimes with our O'Neill crews, you got to get him mad. He plays better when somebody just yelled at him. It's like he gets ticked off, and then he crushes things. If he's just having a good day, it's like, I don't need to give it an effort.
Does he have a chance to be one of the best current players in the major leagues? Does he have that kind of skill set?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and best of all time. I'm not going there, but best in the major leagues.
Young players.
Oh, the way you look at the, and it's a stat that I think is kind of meaningless to a certain extent, but it's awesome to see is that exit velocity. He hits the ball harder than anybody else in the major leagues. Oh. Now, so the one home run he hit the other day only went 20 feet off the ground. That's a line drive. That is a blast to hit a ball over 400 feet, and it only gets 20 feet off the ground.
That's hand-eye coordination. All right, coming up, a little bit on the NBA, a little bit on the NHL, a lot on the NFL. It's the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Diolis Law, Milk and Honey Entertainment. Greg Diolis, your Pratt Pack. Rob Taylor, next with the news at noon.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Rabbi Yisrael Altin joins us on KDKA. Unfortunately, these series of hate crimes continue, and it's disappointing.
So, the most important thing is, people are safe. It's obviously when we see things of hate like this going around, we need to find the perpetrators and bring them to justice.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 412-556-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 412-556-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Get America's largest injury law firm fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 59 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A body was found in a pond in South Park this morning. Allegheny County Police say the body was located in a small pond on Maple Springs Drive. The victim is an adult male. The investigation continues this morning and into the afternoon. A man is in custody after police say he caused an hours-long standoff after allegedly shooting his mother. State police say 59-year-old David Rebar Jr. shot his mother in the arm after an argument around 10:30 Saturday morning. Happened in Unity Township, Westmoreland County. Mother was able to get help at a neighbor's home and then was transported to the hospital in stable condition. Meanwhile, police say Rebar then barricaded himself inside of a home on Center Drive for some 7 hours before surrendering around 5 o'clock. Rebar's in the Westmoreland County Jail facing charges of aggravated assault, simple assault, and recklessly endangering another person. Well, the state of Pennsylvania is finally issuing those new Let Freedom Ring license plates. New plates commemorate America's 250th anniversary coming up in 2026. Plates have an image of the Liberty Bell and the phrase Let Freedom Ring on it. Right now, just those who filled out the early access form last summer can get the new plates. Pennsylvania's plates haven't undergone a significant change since 2003. KDK Radio News Time is 12:02. We have the AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Don't delay in getting that plumbing repair done. Call Palucci Plumbing today for all of your plumbing needs. From trenchless sewer repair and waterline repairs and replacement, hot water tanks, sewer camera inspections, to Pittsburgh potty repairs, no job is too small for Palucci Plumbing. Owners Amy and Nick Palucci have been in business for over 20 years, so give them a call for your next plumbing repair or replacement. Palucci Plumbing, 412-782-5050. That's 412-782-5050.
At Penn West University, we're making college make sense again for people who maybe thought college wasn't the answer. We're making college practical with programs tied to in-demand jobs that prepare you for success right away. We're making college accessible by breaking down barriers and offering more choices. We're making college approachable with faculty who understand where you're coming from and help you get where you're going. At Penn West, we're making college valuable again for people just like you. Learn more at pennwest.edu.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
How did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is a listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to be
Precio.
however you learn. Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Cool again this afternoon. Clouds and sun with a high of 65. Then chilly with patchy clouds, low 41 tonight. Partly to mostly sunny for Memorial Day, high 70. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Listen, you just made my day. Listen, anything that has to do with that great corporate entity, Dick's Sporting Goods, who gave me an opportunity to do TV for 10 years when no one even knew how to spell my last name. Years ago, Golfathon used to broadcast KDKA radio. All the pros at various stores would teach me, and the simulators, and man, we had such a good time. And when I did my TV show, I spent more time looking at sporting goods after the show than I spent actually filming the show. And they have Golf Galaxy, and the big news, of course, that I was all over, actually broke when I was on the air. Wall Street Journal, PG picked up on it. They, the executive chairman, Mr. Stack, made it known. Foot Locker, one of my favorite brands, they are securing the rights to own that company, and they're going to leave them be standalone stores. And then you just told me this.
The trading card, the rookie trading card that was, I think it was Topps, might have been Panini, that put out, and basically people had a chance to win it, just buy packs of cards and win it. There was a young man, like 10 years old in California, bought it, put it up. He put it up for auction for his education.
And they were the ones.
And Dick's,
I didn't know that.
Paid $1 million for it, and it's in the Cranberry. What's the big store that Dick's put up there in Cranberry or
Field
North
and Stream?
Hills? No. It's a regular Dick's, but it's like the big one. It's got like a ball field outside of it.
That's up by Ross Park Mall.
Yeah. The
Dick's House of Sports.
There you go. It's on the lower level. It's on display out there. You can just go and see it.
Listen, can you imagine us as teenagers having a store like that?
Oh my goodness! What did we have to go to? I had Herman's. There was a Herman's Sporting Goods out in Century 3 Mall, which was where that was all that was available. I think was Herman's. Where else could you go? I mean, Sears had a little sporting goods department. Chatham Sports Center downtown there was a Chatham Sports Center. That was where you could get some good stuff.
Listen,
there was a Honus Wagner's downtown.
Yeah, we had Saul's Sporting Goods.
Oh yeah,
and there was a Foot Locker at the Beaver Valley Mall. So I ran into a former employee who was really a wonderful human being, and I said, "What happened to the Foot Locker at the Beaver Valley Mall?" She went, "Your kids grew up." I was in there all the time. Listen, I love Dick's Sporting Goods, the aluminum bats, the helmets, the boxing gear, Everlast. I mean, the ball gloves. You got to pick them up, squeeze them a little bit, get a ball. Oh, my goodness. Hunting, fishing. I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it, man.
It's ridiculous to go in there because they have so much good stuff. It's good. So I go to the bottom barrel of the basement Ross store up in
they got
Robinson.
Good stuff there.
They got a pair of orange Nike running shoes that I looked at yesterday, and I put them back. I'm probably going to go back.
Listen, I'm cheap, and you know how cheap I am now. Not like I was when I was doing my TV show. I'll spring. You get the same thing. Maybe pay a few dollars more. I want you to go to Dick's Sporting Goods because, listen, what they are doing in this country right now with that purchase of Foot Locker, that's incredible. Now they're going to have a global brand, which is even better. But anyway, I'm glad you told me that. I didn't realize that they were the ones that did that. So I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, and it looked like a crazy investment. Like, why would they do that?
They're smart.
I'm sure that, and if you go in there to look at the card, you're buying something while you're in there.
Imagine somebody who moved into Honus Wagner's house down in Carnegie and said, I think we should remodel this basement. Hey, honey, is this thing worth anything? You never know. All right, let's talk about the NBA just for a moment. I love the NBA. Anthony Edwards proved to everyone, don't count him out because he just went crazy. They beat OKC last night. But the big story in the NBA is unfolding tonight. Speaking of Indiana, as we were, the Pacers, Halliburton, they've got the New York Knicks on the ropes. They are down 2-0. I don't care what anyone says. The commissioner, Adam Silver, if he was on the air, he would say, the best team win, but down deep in his heart, I got to believe he's hoping the New York Knicks get to the final. I can't believe that the New York Knicks have not won the NBA title for over 50 years. That's incredible. How is it when you're in a major market like that and you got buckets of cash that you're unable? Is it because there's parity in the NBA or they just made some bad decisions? Because Coach Thibodeau has got them really playing great basketball. And they got the 3 kids from Villanova and obviously Jalen Brunson. But this Halliburton, who everybody said, talk about motivating, he was overrated.
Yeah.
He don't look so overrated right now.
Yeah, wasn't there a political scandal with a company called Halliburton at one time?
My man who spent Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney, that's what I thought.
Listen,
he shot people in the head. That guy, how about that guy? He got 9 lives, right? He shot people.
I love Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney did 2 interviews with me on this radio station, and Karl Rove, who was the guy who pushed all the buttons, and I told you this, he's on the air with me, and it's now like 15 minutes into the interview as I said, this is my last question. Oh, I got one more, that type of thing. And finally, he said, hold on a second, Rob. He leaned over, and you could hear his voice on air. Leave me alone. I like this guy.
Oh, wow.
And I never forgot that. I always liked Dick Cheney. I did. George Bush, I always liked him. But anyway, may I digress. I would love to see the Knicks get into the NBA final. Although this Indiana team, coached by a Carlisle, that name very familiar in the NBA, but this Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, but you're burying the lead. We're Pittsburgh people. The only Pittsburgh guy that's in this event is TJ.
Go ahead, McConnell.
TJ McConnell, and I tell you what, he's a little bit old school looking, like,
Greg,
dribbles the basketball up the court.
Greg, once again, this is why you have got the degree from University of Pittsburgh, and I barely got out of New Brighton High School. His job was to shut certain players down.
Uh-huh.
So there's the lead. That's what am I thinking?
Yeah.
Mr. McConnell, how I cannot believe that's why they brought him to Indianapolis, because of his defensive skills.
Yeah, his basketball intellect is just off the charts. He's got such great instincts. So he's always in the right place.
So could you see him someday coaching the University of Pittsburgh? No.
Duquesne, maybe.
Ooh, with all due respect to the current regime.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, how many years does he have in the league now? Because he played for Phoenix and who else?
The Sixers. He started in Philly. Yeah. I got to think he's been in the league 6-7 years.
Why aren't they writing about this?
I don't know.
Talking about this.
Yeah.
Because they basically, until last night, the Knicks, they have completely shut them down until tonight. If the Knicks
so they won the first 2 games on the road in New York.
And if the Knicks can win tonight and kind of get back in it like Minnesota did, then it's a whole new ball game. But as of right now, it's been all Indianapolis.
Right. Now, how about that crowd? That crowd's going to be crazy tonight because all those people are going to go to the race in the afternoon, and all you do at that race is drink, and then they're going to be at that game tonight. That's going to be a nutso crowd.
Okay, so let me ask you. This is one of my pet peeves. And everybody talks about, the price of this, the price of that. When you look at Major League Baseball as a whole, it's still a very reasonable ticket. But how is the common individual, the young man or woman, or the housewife, or, the working dad, trying to make it work, 2 paycheck households, how are they affording $1,000 a ticket to sit in the nosebleed section at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, and is that the face value of the ticket, or is that what it's on the secondary market?
I have no idea, but that they were saying the average price in nosebleeds like $1,000.
Wow. Well, that's New York. That's everybody makes hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Parking, food. What's a beer?
Well, New York, you don't drive. So parking's not in the question.
That'd be impossible.
Yeah, so you just take the subway and go there and spend $85 for a beer.
You know what? We should have had Susie McConnell on, or his father. I mean, shame on us. My goodness, that's the reason.
Well, I'm sure they're in Indianapolis.
But I mean, that's what everybody's talked about. Why T.J. McConnell? Because of his defensive skill.
Yep. And he, on occasion, he'll throw one in for you when they're he crazy good on assists. But if everybody just kind of falls off of him, you'll see him go to the hoop.
And he's carved out a nice career, made a few shekels too.
Oh, see, I think he's making $9 million a year now.
Hey Jay, that was Greg that forgot about mentioning your name. So, that's you know what, Greg, you made my day. I'm going to have to jump on that. I cannot believe that I've not talked about that.
Now the other guy that's been intriguing to me. in the NBA run-up is this dude that plays for Minnesota, Rudy Gobert.
Oh, yeah. He sounds like a hockey player.
He is a monster.
He's big, thick, man. Reminds me of some of those great players that I witnessed growing up. You know?
I'd never seen him play before. The only reason I knew who he was because of the COVID thing. Remember when COVID got announced and he was touching all the microphones and everybody thought he was like the world's worst villain? That was what he was famous for until I watched him on the screen last night. I was like, well, what is this guy? He's big, he's agile. Holy cow.
He reminds me of Charles Oakley, used to play for the Knicks. All right, to hockey. This Connor McDavid of Edmonton, he must be a pretty good player.
Yeah, you think.
Whoa. Must be. I'm so happy that we got a Canadian team still in it. But how about the Florida Panthers? They crushed Carolina again. They're up 3-0. Who is going to be the Penguins' next coach?
They sent an assistant from a guy named Love, maybe?
I heard about that.
Yeah.
But, man, I
the
just...
Love Doctor.
Listen, and I'm going to mention it. You know exactly where I'm going with this. You saw the article in the PG about fans are a little wary of the future of the Pittsburgh Penguins because they're owned by... I'm like, Greg,
telling you guys.
Greg Diolis has got someone on the take in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I'll tell you, I couldn't even read the article, and I love the Post-Gazette every day, morning, noon, and night. So I kept peeking in. I'm going, please don't mention Hartford in this article. But you know what, Greg? You don't think that'll ever happen, do you?
Yes, I do. That's why I'm telling you.
But what would that... Listen, what purpose would that serve?
They would put a team in Hartford.
Is that closer, Boston closer to Hartford? I mean,
Boston's very close to Hartford.
I know. Well, that means we better get a WNBA team real quick.
Well, there you go. I'll tell you what, did you see our buddies at Shales are back open and booming now?
Good for them. And you know, somebody said something to me the other day, and I should have said something there, but I was being respectful. I could see it, Rob. You're right about this WNBA team. They could play like it, the field house. So they could play Fitzgerald Field House for a while until they kind of get their sea legs, or, the Peterson Event Center. I'm like, have you seen the crowds that they could play at PPG Paints Arena?
Now,
come on,
stop the truck a little bit here. Now they have sold out some of the bigger venues, but most of those WNBA teams do play in 4,000 to 5,000 seat venues, except for when Angel Reese or Caitlin Clark are coming to town, and then they move the games to the bigger venues.
But with the draft, we could get one of those next great players, Paige Beckers. We could get somebody. And look, I'm telling you, you don't follow high school sports like I do. Women's athletics, especially basketball, is getting big. We just had the Round Ball Classic on KDKA yesterday. Basketball is a year-round thing now, man. I'm telling you. And the young fans would fill that place up.
They aren't going to go watch ladies basketball. They'd be more likely to go watch soccer. Hey, did you see there's a new soccer team?
A female soccer team.
Yeah, what are they, the Riveters?
The Riveters. And by the way,
they got their first win last night. Congratulations, Riveters.
And so did the Riverhounds. They defeated Rhode Island.
Rob, this is a sports show. Let's get back to talking sports, please.
Stop it. It's in my contract. I have to talk about the Riverhounds at least once or twice a week. Nice. All right. I love them. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
Your source for official traffic information. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
This Memorial Day, give your home the protection it deserves and save big on your new roof. Contact Home Genius Exteriors now and get 50% off materials. Plus, no payments till 2026 and take an extra $500 off. And all military members receive an additional 10% discount. Call Home Genius Exteriors at 855-UR-GENIUS to schedule your free roof and attic inspection today. That's 855, the letter U, the letter R, Genius. Home Genius Exteriors, the genius choice in roofing. See website for details.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
In 1945, my grandparents made sausage using the finest ingredients and a lot of love. I'm Ernie Ritchie. After 80 years, the recipe never changed. Visit our store and celebrate our 80th anniversary. Ritchie's Italian Sausage. It's what Pittsburgh eats since 1945.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Let me line up my Steeler notes in the old Samsung phone. We're going to talk NFL to the top of the hour. But before we do that, you and the governor have something in common.
Yes, I did not know that about the governor, but it's today is my anniversary, my 28th anniversary to the lovely Pamela Diulis. Happy anniversary, honey. Thank you for all the great times of life that you've given.
You know, I look at you two, and, you know, it's like the couple on top of the wedding cake. Everything I should have done, you guys really do fit well. I mean, your family, your kids, your dad, your late mom, it's just, and I met her mother down at Coons on Banksville Road.
Yeah.
It's like a 60s sitcom. It's just, it's a happy life, and that's a good thing. It makes me proud. But yeah, the governor too. Happy anniversary to him and his lovely bride. He's a really cool dude. I like Josh Shapiro a lot. All right, now I want to talk a little bit about the NFL and baseball. You talked about this collective bargaining agreement. How long can the NFL, and you being an NFL agent, how long can you continue to go writing checks like you're writing for these players? Is it unlimited cash stream, and will there always be money to pay the checks? Or are we going to get to a point where sooner or later it's going to be the have and have-nots, to where you're going to have rebellion because of other players not getting a chance to cash in because of certain players and positions making so much money?
Oh no, the NFL model it can really sustain itself well, especially because you have everybody's making, all the owners are making relatively the same amount of money. Now, if you got some sort of crazy stadium revenue in the bigger places like the LA teams do, like the New York teams do, they're going to make a little bit more money, but they're also, have a lot more money at risk. But the revenue is shared so much, and then you have the cap that's involved. So everybody's spending similar amounts of money. So everybody in the NFL is making money. There's no reason that doesn't continue. Baseball is not a sustainable model as it is, and that's why many people think there could be some type of a work stoppage, lockout, strike, whatever you want to call it, when this collective bargaining agreement ends at the end of the 2026 season. Baseball is not sustainable the way it is right now. So we'll have to see what happens, whether it is a salary cap with a salary floor, which everybody thinks is really, the floor is the more important part for Pittsburgh people, is to make sure that everybody starts to spend a little bit more money to make us more competitive. So if you can get that floor in place, and maybe who cares about what happens at the top end if at least you're forced to spend some money to put a competitive product out there. But that cap is one of those things that the Players Association, and everybody used to think that the Players Association was the strongest union, being the Major League Baseball Players Association. But there have been some cracks in that, and maybe they need to just come to some reality that, hey, we can drive as hard a bargain as we want, but if we start losing teams, that's losing jobs, and then we're in trouble.
All right, we're going to talk to Ted more about the NFL owner meetings. He's with us in less than 10. Tush push, obviously one of the things that we're going to be talking about, flag football and the Olympics as well. But how many more games can they play during the regular season? And eventually, do you think we're tapped out, or do you still think they're going to try to squeeze a couple more over the next 5-10 years?
One more. They'll go one more. They'll go to an 18-week season.
That's a lot of football.
Yeah, so actually it'll be an 18-game season, but a 20-week season, and I think they'll try to do 2 bye weeks in there to try to let guys get healthier, and that extends your timing into later in February for the Super Bowl. So it just gives you more of an opportunity for that year-round football feeling that they want to have.
So Pope Leo from Chicago, I've been thinking a lot about Chicago, thinking about football, baseball. Don't ask me why. The Bears came to mind. George Wendt passing away. Of course, Cheers, thinking a lot about him. And I always think about Mike Ditka. One of the things Mike Ditka talked about was taking care of the former players. Is the NFL, in your opinion, doing enough? If there's so much cash to do everything that they're doing, and they earn every bit of it, are they doing enough to take care of the former players?
Well, that's a hard question because they're not giving away anything to former players, but they are creating some funds that if players suffered from as a result of playing, and there was so much money being made off of the sweat of their backs that there should be some better aspects of taking care of these guys who are so beat up at the end. And particularly, now the guys that are playing nowadays are so much better conditioned. They have such better facilities, such better training and rehabilitation that they're leaving the game in much better condition than those players in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, and even probably the players in the 80s that got so beat up. And those are the guys that really need it, particularly with the head issues. But they have created several funds for guys that are having those types of issues. Are they doing enough? Probably not. But you know what, Rob? These guys, they knew what they were getting.
Okay.
You know, they knew that they were playing a dangerous sport. They were doing a dangerous
activity. And were they
activity.
making good money for the time in the 70s and the 80s?
Yeah, they weren't making the money that the owners were making, but sure, they were making nice money.
It should always
it's no different. Are the coal mines and the steel mills taking care of their former workers?
People that are dealing with the risk every day should make more, meaning the management, the ownership. I totally agree with that. But the last question on this, are we getting to a point in the National Football League that if you play 5 years and qualify for a pension and you have to wait to be a certain age to collect it, will that be enough for any player, whether they're special teams or a star, that when they retire, when those checks start coming in after 5 years of football experience and playing and being on the books, to be life-sustaining?
No. And first of all, it's only 3 years.
Okay.
So you qualify for a pension after 3 games in your third year.
But why isn't, if it's a $32 billion industry, why can't they make the check enough?
Because you're only playing for 3 years, Rob. It's not like you're working there for 35 years like a city school teacher. Or
how do they base it? What do they base it on? Your salary?
No. It's a certain amount. It's $17,500 per month per season that you're in the league. So if you're in for 3 years, it's 3 times 17. Did I say 17,000? No, it's not. It's $1,750
for every month, for every season,
for every season that you're in. So you're going to get like $5,000 if you only play 3 years. You're going to get $5,000 a month but only when you turn 55. You don't start collecting it as soon as you retire. It starts to be paid to you at age 55.
Okay, so if I play 6 years. Or is it still?
It's 6 times 17.5.
Well, yeah. So if you put 10 years in the league, that's a nice. You make like $10,000 a month.
Plus you get a severance check, which is, I believe, I want to say, and I'd have to go double check the rules. But the severance check, so it's a one-time lump sum payment, I think, of $20,000 per season that you were in the
healthcare.
Healthcare for life. It's a new thing. If you play 5 years, healthcare for life.
Good healthcare.
Yes. The really high quality.
So you won't need to go on Medicare?
I guess you could go on Medicare, but get it supplemented. But, yeah, you have health care for life.
That's pretty good. All right, short break. We'll come back. Lots of stuff to get to. The NFL owners meeting and more when Ted Arnaud joins us after Rob Taylor checks the news at the bottom of the hour. This is the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends, weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 61 degrees at Pittsburgh International. At 12:30, I'm Rob Taylor. An investigation is ongoing after a body was found in a pond in South Park Township this morning. County police say the body was located in a small pond on Maple Springs Drive. It was located around 7:45 this morning. It's an adult male. As mentioned, the investigation continues this morning. A man is in custody after police say he shot his own mother and then started an hours-long standoff. Police say 59-year-old David Rebar Jr. shot his mother in the arm after an argument around 10:30 Saturday morning in Unity Township, Westmoreland County. Mother was able to get help at a neighbor's home and then was transported to the hospital in stable condition. Police say Rebar then barricaded himself inside of a home on Center Drive for upwards of 7 hours before finally surrendering around 5 o'clock p.m. Saturday. Rebar's in the Westmoreland County Jail facing charges of aggravated assault, simple assault, and recklessly endangering another person. KDK Radio News time is 12:31. Next update's at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh, News Radio KDK.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problem problems will not go away on their own and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Intervals of clouds and sunshine for this afternoon. Cool again with a high of 65, then chilly with patchy clouds tonight, low 41. Some sun and not as cool, high 70 tomorrow. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Listen, I've known Ted Arnaud so long. If I would have said the tush push to him 30 years ago, it probably would have meant something else. But now we're going to talk about the football tush push. Ted, owners meetings, flag football coming to the Olympics 2028. Look, I don't have a problem with this rugby scrum that is the tush push. It's just the evolution of football. And when Newt Rockne said, let's do this forward pass thing, I'm sure they were confused then as well. It's just the game evolving. They're going to let it stay at least another year. What do you make of all of this about the tush push NFL owner meetings? Good afternoon.
I don't think anybody's figured out how to defend it yet. That's what I think of it. And they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Each got, on both sides of the football, you got 330-pound guys. The advantage is, and in the tush push from an offensive standpoint, is that you can really run several plays off that nobody would expect. But on a defensive standpoint, you pretty much got to commit yourself to defending against that. And really, almost nobody's done it yet. So expect every other team to come up with their own variety of the tush push and maybe several plays that evolve around that. Nice thing is maybe our young quarterback, being as big as he is, can get involved a little bit in the tush push as a special play for the Steelers.
Ted, I was not a big advocate of outlawing the tush push because it was, you were playing within the rules and it seemed like it was designed to go after one team. But I am kind of the mindset, and I think this point was made by others, is that if you're going to allow the offensive team to push like that, why do you outlaw it from the defensive side of the football? It makes, obviously there have been rules to try to make the game more exciting. I don't think the tush-push play makes the game any more exciting. I think it dulls down the game. But if you're going to allow the offensive team to push each other, their own players, then you got to allow the defensive team to do it. Why not? Well, if the one's good for the goose is good for the gander, right?
Yeah, I don't know that there's specific rules against the defense lining up and using leverage like that, except for in the kick, extra point, or field goal where they can use the leverage of one player who's in the down position and try and spring off of him. But I don't know of any specific rule, maybe you do, Greg, of the defense not being able to pile on. I just think what you're doing is you're committing all your players against that one play. And if I were on the other side and I saw a defense doing that, I mean, there's a whole variety of plays you can run from the offense off of that. It's an interesting debate, but kind of Rob brought up the point back when they initiated the forward pass. I'm sure everybody went bonkers over that until they figured out it was pretty cool. But I agree with you. I think it's a boring play. And I think there's a lot more exciting ways you can make the game worth watching.
Yeah, it's especially boring when somebody's jamming it down the Steelers' throats, too. I hated it.
Yeah. Well, they got to figure out how to defend it. Everybody's going to have to figure that out. The best thing is not let them get on the 1 yard line. Keep them beyond the 5.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we've got the Steelers coming up on their, veteran mini camp kind of OTAs days that are mandatory, and it's time for the annual contract issue. And who are we going to talk about? So it's T.J. Watt's turn to be on the contract block. What do you do if you're T.J. Watt? Do you sit out from these things, refuse to participate until you get a new deal? Do you play out the deal that you have? What do you do if you're T.J.?
Well, I think TJ's, I'm sure, got a plethora of advisors, especially really smart guys like you, telling him what to do. But I don't know. If I don't have a contract, I would probably sit out, because you just don't want to have that weird danger of something happening physically that could impale some of your negotiating techniques as you're doing the deal. That would be my recommendation. They're going to get him on. It's just a question of time.
Yeah, this is that weird area where he's basically demanding a renegotiation because he does have one more year under the current contract, but there's a very big danger for a guy who's, not that he's up in age for the rest of society, but he's getting old for a football player. And, do you risk yourself with just the 1 year left on this deal, or do you say, hey, I'm not doing anything until you guys make sure that I'm here, I'm a Steeler for life. You always called me a one helmet guy. You got to, put your money up. But they already put their money up one time for him and made him the highest paid defensive player in the game. How many times do they have to do it?
One more.
Yeah. Good point.
Let me jump in here a little bit. If we're so worried about the health of players, and I get it, why would the NFL let the best of the best play flag football? Because you can get hurt. What's the reason for the 2028 LA games in flag football, which we'll have a chance to maybe see the dream team of football? You first, Greg.
Ted, it's that old saying, grow the game, right? Get more eyes that want to watch football.
It's going to be, let's face it, we've all watched or helped coach or done stuff with flag football. Yes, you can get hurt, as you can pretty much me walking down the street, but it's going to be exciting, and you're going to have, it'll be like the dream team of football. I just don't know what our country is going to be able to field a team that would even be close, but hey, that's what they said about the dream team too. But I think I would say that from a marketing perspective, this is a brilliant move, and it's something I think the NFL should really back the flag football program, because you couldn't play any other form of football in the Olympics. So this is going to be exciting. I think it'll be more fun than anything.
See, I think this is a classic case of America being Americans and imposing our, hey, this is our sport. We're going to go in there and we're going to win this, blow it away. There's already international flag competitions in the United States. Nobody's close to them, and there aren't any NFL guys doing that. Now, I'm not so sure that there are enough guys in the NFL who would exceed those guys who do this flag football stuff on a regular basis, because there's some really good athletes that are doing just the flag stuff, that it's a little bit of a unique game. There's no blocking. You can't block. It's designed to be a non-contact sport. It'd be interesting to see if there are any NFL players, even though the NFL's apparently sanctioning it and saying, yeah, we're going to let our guys compete. I don't know how many NFL guys are going to want to compete.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to give the Calvin Austins of the world a real chance to show their wares, because you're going to be looking for more guys like that, yep, with speed and quickness and the ability to cut. I mean, that's kind of what flag football's about. It really combines a lot of other sports into football, but it's going to be probably more for the guys with that kind of ability that's going to be able to show themselves rather than the 360-pound lineman. So I don't know. I like it.
See, I think, Ted, one of the things that they should do is make it similar to the old arena football where you have to play both ways. So, if you're on offense, you put 5 guys on the field. That's your 5 guys. Now, you can have guys that come in and substitute for them, but if they substitute, then the original guys are out. They're done. It's like baseball. If you get substituted for, similar in soccer, you get substituted for, and you see, I'm showing you my knowledge of soccer rules now. If you get substituted for, then you're done for the day. And maybe that would make it a little bit more interesting, so that you're seeing guys that have to have some skill to, those wide receivers would be a whole lot different if you watch him backpedal and see him chase guys across the field.
Yeah, and I think the kind of athletes that we're going to have on the American team, and you're right, it could be some guys who are playing flag football right now. Some of the NFL guys may not be able to compete with them. But I think the athletes that we would have on the field could probably go both ways. And I like that whole idea that you're espousing, that, like you said, like soccer, like basketball, baseball, go both ways. You got a set team out there until you substitute the guy, he's out there.
Yeah, this flag football is different than the flag football that I'm familiar with. That there used to be a really good local flag football team that played out of Hippo's Pub in Penn Hills, and former Pitt quarterback Tommy Flynn was part of that team, and they were good nationally. But part of what they did, they actually did have you could block, so you had a couple guys that you blocked, and I think it was at least 7-on-7, if not 9-on-9. But it was a little bit different where you could have some tough guys that could play the game. This definition of flag football is more about just speed and motion.
Yeah, it's athleticism. I think it's going to be great. You watch some of that flag football, you can rush the passer, but the whole reason why you're rushing the passer is to give them certain time constraints with respect to picking out the play. But it's a fun game to watch.
All right.
Exciting.
Short break. We'll come back. We're going to talk about breakout players maybe this year for our Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm going to test the knowledge of these two gentlemen, or should I say knuckleheads, their favorite NFL player ever. That's next. You don't want to miss it.
Don't forget, Ted, this is our segment where we go off the rails, man.
Okay. Believe me, I've been off the rails. Stay with us. Much more to come. KDKA in just a moment.
This Memorial Weekend, we pay homage to those who have laid down their lives in service to our country. Their voices will never die. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
At UPMC Hillman Cancer Center, we believe cancer care shouldn't just be good enough. It should be life-changing. As the region's only National Cancer Institute designated comprehensive cancer center, we provide groundbreaking treatments and innovative clinical trials with renowned cancer specialists and a compassionate support system for patients and their families. Discover more at upmchillman.com/lifechanging.
The Pittsburgh Speaker Series presented by University of Pittsburgh announces its 25-26 season at Heinz Hall. 7 events will broaden your perspective and deepen your understanding of the world around you. Featuring Dr. Anthony Fauci, Malcolm Gladwell, historian Doris Kearns-Goodwin, former Russian political prisoner Vladimir Kara-Murza, and geopolitical economist Pippa Malmgren. The series is sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghspeakers.org.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 412-556-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 412-556-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Ouch! Checked from behind. Man, that's gotta hurt.
I'd hire Morgan & Morgan if I were them.
What?
Yeah, Dan, America's largest injury law firm. They serve up justice, ice, cold, law. Know what I mean?
I guess.
Their gloves come off when they fight for you.
Okay.
I'm talking a settlement slap shot.
Shouldn't we be talking about the game?
Yeah, Dan. Morgan & Morgan. Proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Offices Pittsburgh.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, before we get to these players, what do you make of Tom Cruise? How can this guy look that good, do that at 60 years of age?
The marvels of modern plastic surgery.
He looks great, man. He does, man. That guy's amazing.
Yeah, he's probably never eaten a French fry, though. And what kind of life is that, Ted?
Yeah, I doubt if he has. But I tell you what, he looks good, and he's a workout fiend. And the guy makes movies after movie after movie. So he's not just riding on his own laurels. He's really doing the work.
Is he still doing his own stunts? Is he?
Oh, yeah.
He's famous for all that.
He's unbelievable.
Why would he do that? He's taking a job away from a small person to do a job.
Somebody once told me it'll bring you up and it'll bring you down. 3 little letters, ego. Right now, he's still riding high, and good for him. Okay, players breakout. Fatanu, Broderick Jones, Roman Wilson, Adam Frazier, Nick Herbig, Joey Porter. Your thoughts on some of those players, Greg?
Well, the first two you talked to, Fatanu and Broderick Jones, hopefully we don't hear their names the entire season. That means they're actually doing something good on the offensive line. If that happens, they're going to allow all those other guys to succeed.
Okay. Anybody in that group that kind of jumps out?
No, the two of them, the two offensive linemen. I really think that if they make big strides, that will make this team better, and that will let them win 12 games this year.
Would you be shocked if they did have good years?
Shocked wouldn't be the right word. I'd be pleasantly surprised.
And appreciative. Okay, Ted, those players, once again, who you think could have a breakout year. Fatanu, Broderick Jones, Roman Wilson, your guy from Michigan, Adam Frazier, that guy from WVU, Nick Herbig from Wisconsin, and jumping Joey Porter. Go ahead.
Well, I think Frazier's going to have a great year. You know, Pittsburgh's known for its centers, and I think he's going to be phenomenal. But I'm going to give you one that you didn't mention, and that's Peyton Wilson, the Wilson boys.
Yeah.
I think Peyton Wilson could have a real breakout year with some of the linemen that they have to absorb some of the blocks and the ability for him to move around. I think he'd be my pick as the surprise keynote player that's going to really have a super year.
How about Y.A. Black, the rookie draft pick, who's the heart ever since Mark Melanson, whose name every time I read it looked like Mark Melancon, Y.A. Black, whose name is spelled Y-A-Y-A-H, and I followed this stuff pretty good. I thought he was Yaya Black, but Y.A. Black could be a guy that makes a big difference in that defensive line.
I agree with you. They could have these young guys on the defensive line. That's why I think Wilson's got a real shot of having a big year. It's not just because of him. It's because of the alignment that they have. The offensive schemes are going to have to pay attention to those guys. So he may be allowed to roam a bit freer than he has. So, no, I always thought it was Yaya Black too, but it's Y.A. Okay, I like it. Yeah. Give them a little bit of a different twist there.
There you go.
But I think both our rookie linemen are going to have a real good year.
Favorite player of all time, or maybe 2 or 3, all time, being a fan of the National Football League. Greg?
Probably Bradshaw.
Okay. Anybody else? They don't have to be Steelers.
Jeez. I mean, discounting clients because clients are, just guys that I would watch that I would think was great players. Ray Nitschke.
Ooh, Green Bay Packers. Teddy?
Yeah, Jim Brown. Number one,
geez.
forever, Jim Brown. I don't know how anybody's going to pass him. But, of course, mine is kind of L.C. Greenwood, so I don't think he's ever got the recognition that he deserves. And because he didn't want it, he didn't care. You know that. You knew him.
Mm-hmm.
So those would be the two for me.
Yeah, but that was because he was a friend of yours, Ted. I'm just talking about guys that you like to watch. Jim Brown.
Listen, you don't understand.
Go back and watch LC. Man, he changed the whole defensive end.
No, I understand.
I loved watching it, and he was a friend. So
listen, I don't know how Teddy did it, but I'm thinking Joey Porter, we just mentioned, his dad, Casey Hampton, James Gandolfini from The Sopranos, Rickles, Tom Jones. It was always like, hey, I'm looking for Ted. Ted, our other guy, Bob O'Connor, sadly no longer here. I got to give you a chance. I just texted Corey about a golf thing that I needed an answer on. And there was an article in the PG today that I was going to get to on my show, but people know how much I love him, and I didn't want to show bias because, Mr. Gainey, want to be humble in defeat. He's got a lot of daylight ahead of him, 7 more months, and Mr. Moreno is going to challenge him. But the thing in the Post-Gazette that just popped up again, that Corey's going to face a lot of budgetary issues, a lot of things that needed to be fixed. I'm simply saying I see more of his dad in him every day. And one thing his dad was rolling up his sleeves, going to work, and getting things figured out. Now, if Corey does become the mayor, and because of the Democrats in this region, there's a good chance he could become the next mayor. I think he's more than capable of handling the job. Ted.
Yeah, I gave him a call just as soon as I found out that the results came in. He called me right back. And I just said to him, your dad and your mom would be so proud of you right now, because his mom was just a sterling character and person. And, of course, Bob being the yinzer that he was, Corey's got a great opportunity. He's going to have to keep working to win the election. There's no gimmies in this world. Not that world anyway. So, but you got to be very proud of him.
All right, so the other thing, and by the way, Father Terry O'Connor's birthday is today, so happy birthday and much love to Father Terry O'Connor's sister Heidi, and we will always live in the memory of their parents, and we will continue to stand by our brother, our good friend Corey O'Connor. So I got to ask you, it's been a little sleep the last couple of days, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. The president has said green light, U.S. Steel, Nippon Steel. What's that mean, Teddy?
Oh, my feel. I think that's one of the greatest moves going, because, he started off against doing a Nippon Steel deal simply because of the Make America First campaign. But I think this is a great move for the steel industry, for Pittsburgh, and I think it's gives a green light for the steel industry to be reborn again in this country.
You think it will get done despite maybe some pushback from the USW? You think this is an indication that it will happen, Teddy?
I do. There's too much. I really, how many alternatives, viable alternatives are there? I don't think many.
No.
I think this is one that you and I have talked about it with Greg before. While it's not necessarily a football subject, we've talked about it. I think this is a really great move.
Yeah, but these are the people that buy tickets and support our sports teams, and it's very important to give them that discretionary income, and they get it when they work for the great brand that is the USW and U.S. Steel. And now, Nippon Steel. Teddy, thanks, okay?
You got it. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Ted.
What's on the menu today? Got to be burgers and hot dogs.
It is burgers and hot dogs. A little shout out to my father-in-law, my man Carmen. He's doing, hanging in there, and just hope I think he's listening to us today. So I want to say hello.
Much love, sir. Keep punching. We're praying for you. All right, news coming up next. Stay with us all week, 6 o'clock. Be here tomorrow night for our Memorial Day broadcast. Till then, make it a great day, everybody. And remember, those who have made the ultimate sacrifice.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Rabbi Yisrael Altin joins us on KDKA. Unfortunately, these series of hate crimes continue, and it's disappointing.
So, the most important thing is, people are safe. It's obviously when we see things of hate like this going around, we need to find the perpetrators and bring them to justice.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for moms.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours. Even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
How did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is a listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to be
Precio.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 62 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A body was found in a pond in South Park this morning. Allegheny County Police say the body was located in a small pond on Maple Springs Drive. Allegheny County Police say the victim is an adult male. The investigation continues this afternoon. State police are investigating after a man was found shot in Aliquippa. That shooting happened Friday evening at the Valley Terrace apartment building on Superior Avenue. 30-year-old man was found shot in the leg. He was transported to the hospital, is expected to be okay. No word on any suspect descriptions other than the suspect allegedly ran from the scene. Well, a longtime former mayor of West Homestead has died. John Dindak served as mayor of West Homestead for over 50 years. From 1972 until his retirement in 2023. He was a Navy veteran serving during both World War II and the Korean War. He also worked for U.S. Steel Homestead Works for more than 40 years. Dindak died on Thursday. He was 97 years old. State of Pennsylvania finally issuing those new Let Freedom Ring license plates. The new plates commemorate America's 250th anniversary coming up in 2026. The plates have an image of the Liberty Bell and the phrase Let Freedom Ring on it. Right now, just those who filled out the early access form last summer can get the new plates. Pennsylvania's plates haven't undergone a significant change since 2023. Well, the nation is marking 5 years since the police killing of George Floyd. Here's CBS News correspondent Allison Keyes.
I can't believe this.
A white former police officer knelt on the black man's neck for nearly 9.5 minutes while he and the watching crowd begged the officer to let him up. The murder sparked global condemnation and protest over police misconduct and civil rights. There are several events remembering Floyd this weekend, and activists say more police reform is needed. Wednesday, the Trump administration said it is dropping federal settlement agreements with the cities of Minneapolis and also with Louisville, Kentucky, where Breonna Taylor was killed by police in 2020. Allison Keys, CBS News.
KDKA Radio News Time 103, the AccuWeather forecast next.
At Penn West University, we're making college make sense again for people who maybe thought college wasn't the answer. We're making college practical with programs tied to in-demand jobs that prepare you for success right away. We're making college accessible by breaking down barriers and offering more choices. We're making college approachable with faculty who understand where you're coming from and help you get where you're going. At Penn West, we're making college valuable again for people just like you. Learn more at pennwest.edu.
Folds of Honor has been meeting Sacrifice with Hope since 2019 in Western PA. It's their honor to empower people through education and the opportunities it creates. 41% of Folds of Honor scholarships are awarded to minorities, making recipient families as diverse as the country we call home. Folds of Honor has earned the Gold Star Platinum Seal, as well as 4 out of 4-star rankings on Charity Navigator. You can join their squadron today at westernpa.foldsofhonor.org. Please donate today. Spitzer Toyota of Monroeville is a proud supporter of Folds of Honor.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Cool again this afternoon. Clouds and sun with a high of 65, then chilly with patchy clouds, low 41 tonight. Partly to mostly sunny for Memorial Day, high 70. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Heather Zare, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following program was pre-recorded. The following is paid for by Schultz Ford. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. KDKA Radio does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
100.1 FM, AM 1020 KDKA. This is Cars, Stars, and everything in between. He is the star, Richard Bazzi, Schultz Ford, SchultzFord.com. I'm Bubba from 100.7 Star, and we have a story and a star that we want to talk to you that we can't wait for you to meet. Drew Lynch, welcome to Cars, Stars, and everything in between.
Thanks, Bubba. Wow. What an intro. I appreciate that.
How about that?
Welcome. I'll be honest